not too far behind that is a book called The Blessed Life by Pastor Robert Morris, and he's based over in the US. And this is a book that so continuing on the whole family of origin theme. I love my dad dearly. He's a great man, and he loves me very much. And he became a Christian when he was in his late 30s, and but he was originally born in Scotland and moved over to Australia when he was 19. But he was an only child, and money was tight, and coming off the back of World War II rations, and so he wasn't the most generous person, and so he was I'm trying to be kind to him, very tight with his money, and everything was about the cost. Instead of enjoying a meal out, he'd be thinking about the cost, and it became a bit of a joke in our family. Dad never opens his wallet, but I realized as I got a bit older that this was something that I'd some behavior and learned habits that I'd taken on from him. And so that whole area of generosity had to be broken over my life as I became a Christian and became, started following Jesus. And this particular book just helped shift so much in my theology and my practice of how I view finances, how I manage finances. And for me as a pastor, I believe discipling people in financial theology and understanding and management is so crucial. We can't just deal with their, spiritual side, their theology. We can't just deal with their emotions, which we talked about in book 1, but we have to, we have to deal with their finances. 15% of Jesus' parables were about wealth and finances, and there's over 2,300 verses in the Bible about money and wealth and possessions. And I believe, particularly in our age of consumerism and materialism, this is the thing that has gripped the heart of our generation, and we have to allow them to be set free in this area of money. Jesus says, don't serve. You can't serve mammon and God. You can't serve two masters. And so I personally was set free from it, and I think it's something that can really help Christians.
Great, yeah. So let's dive into that kind of the theology of giving, because I think you're absolutely right. I think money has traditionally always been quite a contentious topic in the church. There are some who find it difficult to talk about money, and there are certain preconceptions of when you bring the word money or talking about money in church, that people can think different ways in terms of maybe it's more of a prosperity side of things or a frugality kind of thing. Where does this kind of book land in that kind of sphere of things?
Yeah, look, it definitely obviously the title, The Blessed Life. However, the way Robert Morris takes you on a journey is he really does hit to the issue of it being a heart issue, and being putting Jesus first and putting God first. It talks about, takes people on a journey of stewardship, realizing that I think a lot of people, before they're a Christian, they just think everything's mine, it all belongs to me, and I have authority over my stuff. And then when they become a Christian, I think, most Christians probably do get to that place where they go, I give 10% to God, I honor God because I want to obey him, but the rest of the 90%, that's mine, and I still have authority over my stuff. But really where this book wants to take us to is a place where we understand that everything is God's, nothing is ours, and we give him, he has authority over his stuff, and we're just stewards for a season on this earth of not just money, but our time, our relationships, everything. So it takes you on a journey from, really just understanding about what it is to give and tithe, right through to then what he calls extravagant giving, and that's a whole nother level of giving and sacrifice and trusting God. It really really takes a person to that point where their trust and their hope is in God the provider, not in a salary, not in an economic environment or system, but actually God is their provider. So it's a really good discipleship tool.
No, that's really good. And how have you used this in your church? Has it become part of teaching material or small group
Yeah.
material?
Yeah. We did actually a whole series on it and encouraged people to get the book. We've also I've also taught it. There's a 6-week Bible study with it as well, and so I did that in a Connect group, and incredibly, the tides went up. The teaching is that simple but practical, and truth. Really, it's just the truth, and people respond to it straight away. And we've seen incredible testimonies of, as people shift their priorities of their finances, how God has released blessing over their lives.
Yeah, I love that. I think that sounds like a really exciting book, because not just because the result of tithes could go up, and that's
Yes.
obviously a lovely thing.
Everyone's going to go out and buy it now.
But I think the heart change in someone when they start to see everything as God's. That's a humongous paradigm shift for people in the congregation. So sounds like an absolutely fantastic resource.
And it's challenging. I mean, it talks about exposing a poverty spirit as well, and which like I said, I had to go on a journey of allowing God to deal with some stuff in me.